So Mr. Skinner?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll call Horseman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Horseman, um, are you asking that this case be reset to give you time to consult with an attorney?
Yes, I am. My understanding on the previous reset was that it was given a month to get them on my insurance. And had I known some of this stuff was going to be brought to the table, I definitely would have gotten an attorney for this for today. So especially with the levity of some of the stuff that's being brought to the table, I would definitely like to have an attorney with me.
And could you explain to the court just a little bit more about why you feel like you would not be able to proceed today and would not be comfortable negotiating today representing yourself?
Well, when I spoke to you before, I know some of the things that Meredith had mentioned was, having the kids, live with her. And that was a complete surprise to me, and I haven't been able to prepare for that at all. That's the big one that concerns me the most.
I'm not sure I followed that you were surprised by the children living with her, or what did you,
I
or
No, that
Mr. Skinner, can you
you
address that?
asking me?
Well, I
well,
wasn't sure. I was asking Mr. Horseman, but Mr. Skinner seems to be
I
able
well,
to,
I apologize. I didn't mean to jump in. I was ready to clarify.
yeah.
Believe on the temporary order in the case did find that the children were currently living with Mr. Horseman and named him the managing conservator. That was a flip of the situation as it originally came to court. And it's my understanding that at this time, Ms. Crane is requesting that for a final order, she that at least the possibility of the children returning to live with her as the primary conservator be addressed.
But they're still with dad. Is that what I'm also hearing?
That's
Yeah.
my understanding of the situation.
Okay. Well, y'all, well, I'll talk to Ms. Crane in just a minute, but Mr. Horseman, actually what's the word? The the facts are on your side if you went forward today, if you already have the children, but you're afraid you might lose them because of whatever else Ms. Crane might say or might come up. And so you want to have the benefit of attorney advice and to flesh out the case a little bit better than you could today. Is that what I think I'm understanding?
Yeah, and I might be saying something that's, doing so. I hope I'm not making a mistake in doing that. I just, due to my lack of knowledge as far as how this proceeds going forward, uh, would like just the advice of somebody that can make sure that I'm not making a mistake. The kids have been with me since the right before this whole school year started, and I know that I've even had some of the principals and some of his teachers come up to me and talk about the progress that both of these kids have made. That it's just a night and day difference from where they were at and everything. And I'm extremely motivated to keep them on that same path. I mean, Noah was behind a year in reading and his math. He's going to be going into the second grade next year, which is the first grade that they actually get, a number grade on their schoolwork. And I just that is the most important thing in my life period right now, is that and the progress I'm making with these boys. And the risk of them possibly not living in my house with me full time is, like I said, that's just the what I hold closest to my heart out of everything in my life right now. And it's just, there's so much levity on that I just want to make sure that I dot my I's and cross my T's, for lack of better words. I just want to make sure that I'm prepared to do everything I can to fight for them.
Okay. And you've had them since when exactly?
A week before school started, and I don't have a calendar in front of me, but
By that, you
uh,
mean the fall semester or this semester? Are you talking about
the fall
September?
semester. I've had the whole school year. I've had them. Yeah,
So 1 week would have been probably mid-August or so of last year,
fair. That I agree.
more or less. And then
Yes, ma'am.
mom has had visits or some kind of possession.
I've been open to, yeah, and I think she's only visited I think 2 or 3 times since that's happened. Um,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I do allow them to call her anytime they want. I've gotten a couple phone calls from her, but usually I've been trying to be really just letting the kids dictate it when anytime they want to communicate with mom. I give them the green light and let them FaceTime her. I know she doesn't have a vehicle right now and is unemployed, and I've done everything I can on my end to give them access to their mom. I'm in no way trying to keep them from communicating with her or anything. I just really hold dear. I realized as doing this as a single parent this year that the routine is everything, and I don't want to disrupt the routine at all, especially with the track that they're on right now.
Okay, I get your position, but you really think it's important to get a lawyer, even if the facts are on your side today. It sounds like I haven't heard her side of it, but could be a total surprise, or he said, she said today.
Yeah, I just
Well, let me ask about the insurance issue. Are you
yes,
prepared to offer insurance or
I have them
the
both
insurance
fully
issue?
covered now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. They are both. I'm paying for their insurance, but for both of them.
And how old are they?
Noah just turned 7, and Oliver's 4, about to turn 5.
Okay. Then, Mr. Skinner, do you think there's any more questions you could ask that would benefit me in resolving this of Mr. Horseman?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Horseman, when we had done the first reset in this case in September, that at that time was for the word in the reset order indicates that was for you to have time to seek legal counsel. Um, as far as I'm aware, that at the next setting you weren't represented. Um, could you maybe help the court understand what's changed about the situation between then and now, where you did not take advantage of that opportunity when it was first given, but now you feel like you do need to come back and seek it and have the time to hire an attorney?
Yes, I did. I had someone that was I guess attorney wasn't the right way to put it. I had someone that was a retired attorney that was kind of helped me with some advice on how to handle that specific next court hearing. And then at the end of the court hearing, my understanding was that the following, I think the one that got reset prior to this was due to either myself or the kids being sick, and it got reset. But my understanding that what we were going to cover on this in this hearing was going to be that I was going to be given time to get them covered on insurance, and I didn't think that I needed an attorney for this meeting just because I got them covered on health insurance, and I didn't know that stuff of this regarding the kids were going to be brought to the table. To be honest with you, like I just told you whenever we spoke, I thought that we were just going to be discussing strictly the insurance. That's the only thing that I was mentioned on the previous court hearing that we had.
Okay, so you and Ms. Crane hadn't talked about the possibility of switching custody again, or she asked you to consider it, or none of that happened?
No, not as far as custody goes. What she had mentioned to me previously was wanting to see the kids, and I have only been open-minded to that. But as far as what she's mentioned, and as far as having them come live with her, has not been discussed, and it was a complete surprise.
Okay, then let me hear from Ms. Crane, Mr. Skinner.
Yes, Ms. Crane, you're asking that the court proceed and try to get some kind of final order done today?
Yes, yes, I am. And I have mentioned it to him, and he, of course, kicks me out of the house and will just, harass me, go on and on my phone, just horrible messages. 30 messages, and where I have to end up blocking them, just calling me every name in the book. And then finally, when once I have to block them, then he says, "Oh, great, like I'm blocking the kids," and that's not it. And if I have to, I haven't been up there. I have been up there, but it's all under his control. And unless I do what he says, or agrees with what he says, then I get to talk to my kids. So and I originally because I didn't have housing. Well, now I do. Since December 30th, I have a 2-bedroom apartment, and he basically said, I won't make you pay child support. And that's always it. He just holds stuff over my head, blackmails me. And you know, it's just all about control. And yes, Noah was behind in school, but that was because of our CPS case from back whenever he choked me, and you know, I dropped my child, so CPS made me leave our house, and I had to unenroll our child in school, and so that's why Noah was behind. I mean, it wasn't because of anything else. I just feel like he's trying to make it look like something other than it is. I mean, they've always lived with me. I just don't see how he wants me to have supervised. I haven't done anything. I mean, his record, I mean, he had child endangerment with, you know, our child, you know, choked me. And I don't see how this, I don't know. It's just not fair. I don't understand. So,
And
yeah.
You're not going to dispute there's a court order giving him custody, are you?
I'm sorry.
Well, if I understand right, I haven't looked at the file because I'm not where the files are. However, I understand there's a temporary order that gives Mr. Horsman primary custody of the children. Did you agree to that, or did you have a hearing where I ordered it, or what happened?
No, I agree. I agreed to that whenever I was homeless. I didn't have a house, nothing. And that was back in, I think, November or September. Well, then because, you know, he had a stable place. And at the time, I didn't even know that I had won the protection order, nothing. Well, I guess I agreed to drop it. And then I got on my feet, and I do have an apartment and stuff. And then the temporary order just kept prolonging and prolonging. And yeah, so that's why I'm, you know, wanting the kids back. Like, but he just keeps pushing like the supervised. I don't even know why they're even supervised. Like, I don't understand. I don't know.
Okay, did you consider getting a lawyer to bring to court to make a better case for yourself? Because all I'm gonna have is the he said, she said today. If that's what you're asking for, and it might not go your way, ma'am, if he's had possession for an entire school year with your permission. So
I can't hire an attorney. I don't have money to.
okay. Do you have any witnesses with you today that could corroborate your story or anything like that?
No, I mean, I sent documents in of everything that have happened, you know, of what has happened. But that's about it. I mean, I don't.
Okay. And when you handed them over, I mean, there was no agreement that you were gonna get it back at a certain point in time. You didn't have a clue that it might land as a final order at some point?
No, because I just thought it was temporary.
Well, that's what we call the orders. That means you get to come back and try again, but it also has set a lot of rights and privileges and obligations. And half of the law is like possession. If he's had the kids for like 9 months and they're stable, you know, courts hate to disrupt that. Now I get that you're going to tell me a story that I've heard part of already, and I'm sure there's more to it, but all you have is actually your word right now. And what documents did you send in? What kind of documents?
Just of the incidents that have happened in our relationship, of the family violence and the child endangerment and stuff.
Okay. Mr. Skinner, do you have any more questions of Miss Crane? That would help me.
Ms. Crane, why do you feel that is there a particular reason that you feel it's important to get a final order done today instead of having time to prepare and make your case later on down the line?
I don't really know how to make, I mean, I can't get an attorney. I just know the longer it goes, not going to be able to see them. Like, it's just when, he picks and chooses, or it's just, it just keeps, I don't know, getting prolonged. So yeah, I don't.
Commissioner Skinner, tell me what the order says about position as access. I think you mentioned it, but I guess I don't know the particulars.
Yeah, I can read out the terms. This is from the temporary order filed November 19th, 2024. And that grants Ms. Crane possession of the child every Friday from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It sets a neutral pickup and drop off location, and it has some general terms and conditions as well. That being said, my understanding of the situation is that it has changed since that order was entered, and that's less workable than it was previously.
And, but it didn't say anything about supervision?
Let me double check. I wasn't aware that it did. Yeah, I don't see that there is any I don't see that any supervision is ordered.
And then
Is
it
it-
looked like there was an agreement, and the court didn't hear it at all. I'm not recalling it, but I did.
I will confer. It's my understanding that this was an agreed order. Yes, according to the order's own wording, it was agreed, and that fits with what I understand from our
And
case notes.
there was no record made, it was waived. That's a sure sign that I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I see that no record was waived.
No
I'm
record
sorry,
was
that
made.
that a record was waived, no record was made.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Horseman, do you have any witnesses or anything with anybody with you?
Nobody's with me now, no.
And you've heard some of the allegations she's gonna bring up? I don't know.
Yes, I did. And I know one of the reasons for the supervised visits were when the kids were with her prior to them moving in with me. There was someone that was coming around. She's that got arrested twice for assaulting her, causing seriously bodily injury, and he kept coming around against a emergency protective order. My understanding is that he is currently in custody, but as far as that, my concern was just like, I wanted her mom or my mom or somebody to be around that could just make sure nobody dangerous was going to be around the kids, was my concern at the time, and that's why supervised was brought up.
Was brought up, but would you concede that it's not actually in the order, as Mr. Skinner just?
Yes, that's what I heard just now. Yes, ma'am.
You didn't know it was what the visitation order was when you left court that day?
Well, it was over Zoom, and when I talked about it, I think that the conversation we had with the gentleman we were speaking to was, since she doesn't have transportation, that her mom was going to be giving her a ride and be with her anyway. So that's why I had agreed to it. And as soon as those orders were put in place, nothing was ever done as far as following up with setting up those times for the visits or anything. It just never happened. And it's not that I was keeping it from happening or anything like that. It just never happened.
Well, if you want time to hire a lawyer and maybe bring some evidence as well, or to put a better case on, then you might. I hate to hear he said, she says when it's a grave issue. It's, as you stated, it's not levity, it's gravity. And that I don't want to deprive one of you of custody if you don't think you can put on a full case today. And Ms. Crane, you said a lot of things that do concern me. However, I'm sure the papers you send in could be considered hearsay because they are not properly authenticated by any agency that they came from. You probably just your copy that you just had and you sent it in. So I'm kind of hesitant to let you go forward today, even if you want to. Because you could bring witnesses, you could bring better evidence, you could bring whatever to put your case on. And Mr. Horsman, I think you should get a lawyer if you want one and help you navigate all this as well. Because custody is a big deal. It's a big deal to me, but you all already made certain decisions that are going to impact it. And Ms. Crane, if you were not in the position to have the kids at the time, then you probably did the right thing letting him have them. But it also now might cost you because now he's had them and the kids are stable. And if you want him back, I don't know what I'm going to have to hear. I just have to hear the case, and frankly, more details and a lot more time than the he said, she said I've done for the last 20 minutes. So I am gonna reset it, I am. And if you can get a lawyer, great. If you can't, you can't, but bring a witness or two to help your case. And if you can get certified copies of any documents from any agencies you want to present, you can do that. Otherwise, they might be considered hearsay. I may or may not be able to look at them. And Mr. Horseman, you've heard some allegations here. However, I'm concerned in the meantime. I don't want to deprive her of any possession because it's not fair. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen, but today's a new day. It needs to happen. And no, it wasn't supposed to be supervised. It wasn't in the court order, whether you rolled over on it or not. But is there anything that you would tell me that Miss Crane would now be a danger now that she has a house or has a place to bring the kids to, Mr. Horseman?
No. It's just as far as like transportation with the kids and everything goes, getting them there. I'm not too sure how that works, but other than that, I completely understand what you're saying.
Okay, so Miss Crane, tell me a little bit about why you didn't visit or how it turned out.
So we thought it was supposed to be supervised at my mom's, who she lives with my 90-year-old grandma. As, I mean, that's not gonna, it just wouldn't work like that. I don't know. It was just, yeah, it's too hard for all of us to go lay in on a, I don't know, full bed, and I don't know.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure what happened, if you weren't listening or you didn't read the papers afterward or you didn't ask questions, because you should have understood what you had when you walked out of here or read it later or
Yeah.
figured it out. You both thought you had supervision and there's nothing about that in the order, apparently, or that's what I'm understanding from all of you all telling me this. So if you're given the opportunity to see the kids every Friday for a couple hours, every Saturday, every Sunday for the days, is there any reason you couldn't do that since that's already in the order? Can you pick them up and drop them back off? Or do you need to meet somewhere
I
neutral?
mean, I don't see why I can't have them overnight. I live an hour and a half away. I don't know.
You live an hour and a half away. How many miles is it? You know, without giving addresses.
I'm not even sure.
Okay, what town are you in versus what town is he in?
He's in San Marcos and I'm in San Antonio.
Do you have any transportation, ma'am?
My mom, who's in New Braunfels, said she would come pick me up, but I mean, she would drive from New Braunfels to San Antonio, then to San Mark, or yeah, back. And that's why I wanted to see if I could have them like every other weekend at least, or.
Okay, well, let me go to you, Mr. Horseman. What's wrong with that picture?
I'm just not comfortable with them staying the night yet.
Were y'all ever together under the same roof? Living together, you and
I'm
her?
sorry, say that again.
Were you all ever living together under the same roof with the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And
For
were
7
y'all
years.
well, the oldest one is 7 years. You can't have still been with him till last year. When did you separate, Mr. Horseman?
We've been separated now for a little over 2 years, I believe.
And while the first year of the separation, she had the kids?
She had the kids with her mom, and her mom was really the one that was mainly
Yeah.
taking care of them.
No, I live there.
Okay.
Mine and my mom's place.
Yeah, hold on a minute, ma'am. But she had the kids. They were in her possession, not yours, for a whole year before you came to court and you got possession.
Yes, ma'am.
And at any time, at any point in time, were those kids in danger of their mom's possession?
Yes, that was when the 3 different arrests happened at that house in front of the children. 2 of them being serious felonies, and 2 of the other charges were misdemeanors, one of which was impeding with a 911 call, and that one was right in front of the children. And not only did they move out of the house and come live with me for the reasons of safety then, but even her mom moved out of the house to come live with me to help in the transition of them moving, because obviously this was really tough for them. And like I said previously, my main concern is just stability with them, and I don't mind them visiting their mom, but staying somewhere that they've never been before. And I'm not even too sure what she said she got an apartment. I'm not too sure what the the last place she was, like, didn't allow them to have visitors and stuff like that. I'm not too sure the details. It's all just a gray area with a bunch of question marks to me, and it just seems almost like reckless on my end if I'm just open-minded to them to having them leave and go stay somewhere overnight. That, you know,
Well,
this could be
so
the same situation as before when they left, where it's dangerous.
were y'all together when they were born?
Yes.
Were
Yeah.
y'all
Yes.
together, Mr. Horseman, when the children were born? Mr.
Yes,
Horseman.
ma'am.
And was
Yep.
she
Can you
the
hear me?
primary care? Yes, I can hear you. Was she the primary caretaker while you went to work when they were young?
Yes, but yeah, the issues with that was kind of what led to us, you know, not getting along and everything, getting apart. You know, not in my opinion, which I don't even, you know, I'm not, obviously I don't have anything here to prove it. It just wasn't a good situation in my opinion.
But you allowed it?
Until I didn't. Yes, I did.
For how long then? 6 years, 5 years?
Well, her mother was with us a lot of the time whenever that was going on, and her mom being present and the things that she did on a daily basis as far as, you know, taking care of them and the house and the meals and everything that she prepped was what made me feel comfortable with it. It wasn't anything that had to do, if she wasn't in the equation, it would have been a whole different, I would have had a whole different viewpoint on it.
Without telling me an address, what kind of place do you live in now, Miss Crane?
I live in, I have, so I live in it's like a supporting housing program, and it's like 3 different apartment buildings, and I have my own 2-bedroom apartment, and it's called De Esperanza, and basically it's just a program that helps women like be self-sufficient. And there's 31 children that live on property. They help you like save your money. You have to have a job. Right now, I'm about to have a baby, so 6 weeks after, I will be required to get a job. They help you. You know, you have to do meetings 3 times a week. It's definitely a wonderful program. And for safety reasons, like, yeah, people can't, visitors can't just, you know, come on property. But there's like 4 offices where there's people here. We have peer support, case management. It's an 18-month, I signed an 18-month lease. So I definitely bettering my life when I had nowhere to go. That's why I signed the temporary order, which I didn't know about, you know, but it's an actual really great program, and I'm very thankful for it.
Okay,
So
what you might be leaving out, ma'am, is there some kind of substance abuse or alcohol?
no, no. So to get into the program, you had to have had a previous within 10 years to get into this program. But no,
Previous what? A previous what within 10 years?
like substance abuse, like disorder. So within 10 years, so that's how I was able to get in here. But they do random drug tests and stuff like that here. So I mean, they have to.
So are you telling me you at one point in your life were using or abusing drugs?
Yes, ma'am. I was on probation for that. Yes, in
More and more
2017.
complicated. Nobody has exactly clean hands here, it looks like, but so can the kids
I'm
even
off
go visit
probation.
there, ma'am? Is the kids can even
I'm
go visit
sorry.
there? You said visitors weren't allowed. If the kids don't live there, can they visit there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, no, that's not what I heard you say. Can they even stay overnight or just come for the day or?
No, like if it's your children, I'm talking about like just people like you, like friends and stuff. Like, you know, they would have to sign in and out, but at certain times your kids can come anytime. That's different.
Do you work on the weekends?
Do I?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't work right now, no.
You said you had to have a job while you're living there and you can't because you're pregnant?
Well, yeah, I'm due in a week. So yeah, and they I mean, I don't know who's gonna hire me when I'm about to have a baby, but yeah. I mean, we're still required to still, I mean, look and stuff like that. But yeah. But right after, yes, I'm
The
required
father,
to.
the child involved?
I'm sorry.
father of that child involved or gonna be involved?
He's in jail. I'm not sure.
Has he been sentenced yet, or is he waiting for it, or what?
He hasn't been sentenced, no.
Okay. I don't think I want to hear this case today. I think there's too much that's he said, she said, I need proof or better proof. So is there any way your mother can take you to get the kids or meet somewhere and get the kids for at least the day?
Yeah, I'm sure she can.
What happens when you have, you're in the hospital, or you don't know how long that's going to be, or you're not going to be induced? I assume you don't have an appointment for the birth,
Not yet, no.
but you're on target for your due date.
Yeah, I'm in about 2 weeks, so yeah.
And then what, you have to stay home with the baby, or for at least for a couple of weeks before you can go get the children? I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
realistically,
yeah, that's why I don't I don't know. Yeah, I don't yeah, everything's kind of up in the air. I don't know.
you want 2 kids with you in a 18-month program there with you and with a new baby? You're asking seriously to do that?
I
Yes.
mean,
Well,
I think I deserve at least standard possession. I didn't do I didn't do anything. I don't understand.
well, no, the facts come to the court when they come to the court, and you were in a bad position at the time and you resolved it. But now that's what, that's what you have. You don't have custody. That's what you got in a court order with your consent. Now you want him back, but there's more complications here. Is there any reason she couldn't have weekend visits? Maybe Saturday morning to Sunday evening, Mr. Horseman, every other weekend as she can after the baby's born?
My main concern is the first thing that comes to mind is transportation. If something were to happen, and the kids
Well,
needed to
that's
get
not your
somewhere,
That's not your problem. Her problem to go pick up the kids from you, or do you want to meet halfway or something like that to help her or not?
yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to let her come get the kids. I'm uneasy about the access they would have to things that they needed while they were there. And I'm just being honest. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Well, what do you mean the lack of whatever they would have while they're there?
Well, I mean, like she's mentioned, there's no employment and no transportation, and I just, I just don't know how they can be taken care of.
How do you feed yourself, Miss Crane?
I have food stamps. We go to the food bank. And we do have transportation here. They have buses and cars and everything here that we have transportation.
Yeah, but is it to pick up kids for
So-
visitation weekend? Or is it just for the stuff you need to be doing while you're in their program?
Just like for grocery runs and different things like that. To go so to pick them up, my mom said she would help me do that for sure if I would get to see the kids, or have them on the weekends.
And you would have enough food for them for a weekend?
I mean, I could show you my fridge is completely full. I would never, my fridge is full. My pantry is full. Definitely would. They have food. They have a room. They have 2 beds in there. I mean, they have everything. So,
Okay, Mr. Skinner, do you have any questions of either parent at this time?
No further questions, Your Honor. Just if
How
the
much? Yes, sir, Mr. Skinner, what?
Oh no, I was jumping again. If you were about to say something.
No, I was thinking, you started this, Mr. Horseman. You want a lawyer, how long would it take you to get one? And they're busy people and they have other cases in front of you, and they cost a lot of money. So how long would you to retain one and then to have them be able to be prepared to come in for a hearing? And then I need to allow time for Miss Crane to recoup from the birth of another child and figure whatever else she's gonna do. I mean,
Sure. I mean,
hold on, Miss Crane.
sorry.
How are you gonna get a job with a newborn? Do they allow that, or would you put the baby in daycare?
Yeah, I already have signed up. I have no choice. I mean, I'm on a wait list already for the childcare, and I
Where
mean at
is
6 weeks
it a private daycare? Or is it there with the program? Do they help you with that?
they help me sign up for like applications and stuff, and they you know, they do daycare. They drop off like kids and stuff, and they like to the daycares and everything in the mornings and pick them up. But at 6 weeks, I would, you know, start. I mean, I would have to start looking, but so yeah.
Okay, so back to you, Mr. Horseman. How long would it take you to get a lawyer and have them adequately prepared to come into court?
I do have a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't know, a month or two.
Well, I know better than you that that's probably not likely, more like 3 months or so.
I would have liked to ask for more. I didn't want to upset you by asking for more time.
Well, no, she's gonna be in the middle of recuperating from childbirth and
Right.
sorts of other things
And
on her plate.
I've lived in the house that I'm in for I'm going on 8 years now, and they're going to be selling my house, and I'm not going to be the purchaser. So I'm going to be moving at the end of June. So that's going to be taking up a lot of time, especially with having the kids and everything. There's a lot of moving parts, getting them enrolled in the new school that they're going to be going to and everything. So yeah, I mean, just
You already more or less know you're gonna stay in the town you're in, or you're gonna move to another town, or?
I've got two houses that I'm looking at. Both of them are in the area. I don't, like you mentioned, I don't want to mention the specific places, but yeah, neighboring towns. One town's called Wimberley, and the San Marcos is next to it. I'm looking at the other school district just because they're doing so. You know, they have such a great school district there, and some of the programs that they can offer my kids. Um, and then along just with the move, I mean, it's just there's a lot on my plate right now, and I just want to make sure that I make all the right decisions, especially with this attorney now that there's so much on the table.
Oh, yep. Okay. And Ms. Crane, if I gave it 3 months, but you got some kind of visits in the meantime, you're not going to be able to visit right away. It sounds like if you're already going to go into childbirth in a week or two.
Yeah.
And then after that, give you another, what, couple of weeks to get on your feet or not?
Yeah.
Could you really handle the kids right after birth? I would think not. You need some medical time.
Yeah.
So what's the earliest you think you could have the kids
Um,
after
like
birth?
for a weekend, like for weekends.
Awesome.
Yeah. Probably, I don't know, but, probably like June. I don't know. I really don't know. June, probably.
Your due date is really a week. What day is it exactly?
No, my due date is May 11th, but
Oh,
yeah,
so why'd you say in a week or two?
because that's usually like whenever I give birth is around the 37. I'm 37 weeks right now. Usually 37 weeks, 38.
So you think it'll be early?
Yeah.
So if I started something in June and gave you all a July court date roughly, or early August, because it has to be decided before school starts, maybe late July. That would suit you, Ms. Crane?
Hmm.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
That suit you, Mr. Horseman? Late July?
Yes, and I guess yeah, I've got some things to figure out as far. I guess I just go ahead and I guess it's not the right question for you. I guess I need to assume that they're gonna just assume that I'll be, because I got to get them enrolled for school and everything.
Yeah,
Going
you
forward,
have to do. You can't wait till the last second,
and
but
well,
but
I don't want to, and I just don't want that. I don't want to get them enrolled and then have them pulled from their home.
well, you don't know what I'm gonna do, and I don't know what I'm gonna do till I hear you all out. You're the one that asked for the hearing a later date to get a lawyer, and I'm granting you that. So you just do what you need to do, and then you deal with whatever I dish out. That's all I can.
Well, I'm starting to feel like that not, asking for that time isn't the wise thing to do, and maybe I was not being too I think I was letting fear speak for myself, and I'm almost at the point now to where I'd be open-minded to go ahead and let you make a final decision on it.
I actually don't think it's fair anymore. I've taken all this time to hear the
Okay.
that, and she's made some allegations that have concerned me, and I'm trying to give her a chance to prove them now, because that's what this is. You put your best foot forward, but you gotta deal with defense too, whatever she says, and she doesn't have the ability to prove it right now. I don't want to do he said, she said. If it's true, I want her to prove it.
No,
If
I
it's
understand.
not true, and if you've got all your ducks in a row, right now, yes, you have the advantage, but I don't know what she could possibly prove that would maybe talk me into moving the children back with her. I don't know. But Miss Crane, you've made some good choices for yourself to get back on track, but it's also hurting you that you don't have a stable long-term place. You get that, right?
Yes, can stay here for 18 months and get a job, and we save like 75% of our checks and stuff, so we can move
Okay.
out and get an apartment and stuff. But
I can't hear your case in 20 months to see what happens after the 18th.
yeah,
If I give you the kids, but I'm not going to give you the kids if that's your permanent situation, and it's not, because it's temporary, and then I don't know what happens after that. So you're not in a position much,
yeah. And
but
I'm
you
not
wanna try. You really seriously want to try to get custody of these kids.
Well, I'm not I really don't want to uproot their whole lives right now. I don't, because that's what they know right now. I just want to be able to I just want to see them and have them like weekends. Like I just to be able to see them. And I know I'm about to have a baby, and I don't want to overload everything, and but I just want more than I do now. I don't, because I know they are in a stable situation, and that would be the worst, like how I was, like just whenever I was little. Like I don't want that. I don't want that for them, especially if they are, in a stable spot. But I would like them to come stay with me. I don't see why I would have to have supervised. That's what I hate that.
Okay, I'm gonna grant the reset. Help me with the July dates, Mr. Skinner. I know y'all have some upcoming
Yeah.
administrative issues, so I don't know what kind of dates we have available for you for Hayes County.
As far as Hayes County, a Zoom date, I see July 3rd, July 10th, but then I don't see anything else through the end of July as far as the Zoom date. And then I don't know if there are chosen Hayes County court dates for August, but I don't have those in front of me right now.
I do, but that's too close to school starting because of some conferences that the state has and that I have right back to back at late July and early August. It's either mid-July or mid-August for a court date. And then that kind of impinges on the school thing. So I don't want to go as far as August 14th.
Well, I would say July 10th then.
And yeah,
Rather keep it on Zoom if we can.
yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Then the court date would be July 10th. That's a Thursday again. I'll set you at 8:30 on Zoom. It's the first Zoom ID you started with. That's the one, not this one that we're in right now. And it'll all be in writing. In the meantime, the temporary order will continue with the following changes.
You
For
wanna
every,
make this one a priority, Judge?
yes, we'll make it a priority because it's gonna be contested. There's no way you can resolve custody if you both want it, and I can't split the children in half, so. It'll be a priority. We get started earlier. If you bring witnesses, don't bring 10 or 20. I can't hear that kind. If one or two would be helpful, bring out the best one or two. And whatever documents you want me to consider, if they're from agencies, you have to try to get authenticated copies, not just the copy that they handed you, so that it's admissible. And then you have your testimony and your witness's testimony, so that helps. So it's going to be a long case, so I need you here earlier so we can start right away and we can make it through, and I can still have maybe late morning or early afternoon to hear my other cases. But the temporary order will continue as is, except for the visitation. I'm gonna grant different visitation than what you all agreed to. It didn't say supervised, so I'm not gonna impose supervision. I think there's enough supervision with if what she's saying is true, and you don't have any reason to dispute she's living in a program with a house with surrounded by people and people who run the place and that goes to meetings and all that. You're not disputing that, Mr. Horseman, are you? You're telling me she's lying about that?
I don't know anything about the place where she's staying.
Well, she gave me way too much detail for me to believe she's making it up. Most people don't know all the ins and outs of that unless they're there or been there. So I'm gonna take you on faith, Miss Crane, and on your sworn testimony that you are where you are. So I don't have the concern that you're in a apartment in a bad part of town with a bad element near you and
I have my packet right.
what, ma'am?
I said, no, I have my whole packet right here.
Are you in
with-
your apartment right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anybody there with you?
No.
Can you stand up and have your camera show me your
Sure.
room, please?
Yes, I
Where you
can.
are? There you go.
Can I turn the camera around or just?
Sure, because I want to see the, what are you
Can-
showing me now, the kitchen?
Yeah, this is the living room right here.
It's a little blurry, maybe it's because you're going to, there you go.
Okay, oh, it's because the background, 1 second. None. Okay, this is the living room. This is
Do you have a bedroom for the children?
I do, but I'm showing you we do have food.
Okay.
This kitchen,
You
and
said it was
then,
2 bedrooms or?
yes, ma'am, here, I'll show you. This is the boys' bedroom that I have right here with their beds. So far.
And they
And
allowed you to have
then-
the bedroom for the bed with the kids? Did you have to show them a court order or anything?
Who a court order?
The
No.
program that allowed you there and gave you a 2-bedroom apartment?
No, ma'am. And then this is my room right here. So, yeah.
Okay,
And that- and then the bathroom's right there.
okay, that's fine, thank you.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna do, because it's gonna require you getting transportation. I'm not gonna do the full Friday night to Sunday. I'm gonna do Saturday morning. How long would it take you to get there or meet somewhere halfway? Or can you pick a place for me, Miss Crane, or Mr. Horseman, something that would be ideal to meet at?
I mean, they can come here and pick them up.
All right. So then that would have to be because my mom's, hold on, let me go back.
So if you picked them up Saturday morning and return them Sunday by 6 p.m., could your mom take you and take you back to get them and come back off?
Yeah, she said she would help and do that.
Okay, and then how long do you, well, you told me it was San Antonio to San Marcos. You said it was an hour and a half, so what time could you reasonably get there, ma'am, with your mom to pick up the kids by 10 a.m.-ish or something else?
My mom, so on Saturday morning, you said?
Yes, you can have all day Saturday, one overnight, and return them Sunday.
Okay, yeah, because my mom's in New Braunfels, so she would go to San Marcos and then pick them up at 10:30 and then probably just drive and drop them off they would be here by like, see, an hour and a half by 12-ish. And then they would stay overnight till Sunday. And then what time Sunday would
Like 6
Would they
p.m.?
by 6, Brett?
Mr. Skinner, you want to say something?
Just I'm being informed that there is if they're the next hearing after this, we're gonna have a witness for the state, and he's just, but eventually I have to leave at noon. Our testimony would take less than 5 minutes, but I was being asked for kind of what the
Oh, well, I'm trying to wrap it up as best I can do.
okay. Yeah,
So you wouldn't be going with your mom, you'd be sending your mom?
Yeah, because then she'd have to drive a whole nother hour and a half to come back and then another hour and a half.
Well,
So,
and plus
'cause
your
she's right,
condition too, or a newborn too, that would
yeah.
complicate it. It sounded like you had no problems with her mother, Mr. Horseman. So is that a problem for you that the grandmother picks up the kids and brings them back?
No, I don't have a problem with her mother doing that.
Can you make the kids available at 10 a.m.?
Yes. What? How does this occur if like these like previously when we had set this, the visits just didn't happen really? What? How do?
Well,
As long as I'm ready with them and their bags are packed, it's okay. And even if they don't show up.
what I usually do when you're not sure people are coming and to make sure that I'm going to put an advance notice requirement on Miss Crane that the grandma's going to come pick them at a certain time, and that if she's not going to do it and she doesn't call you to confirm, then you don't have to worry about it. So did you hear that, Miss Crane? You have to call
Okay.
at least probably by Friday night, 6 p.m.
Okay.
Well, maybe will you know then, or will you be home then from work or whatever, Mr. Horseman, by 7 p.m.? Friday
I'm
night.
available anytime.
Yeah. Well, let's
Yes, ma'am.
in case dinner gets in the way or something, Friday, 7 p.m. advance notice. And if you don't call to tell him you're coming or your mother's coming, then you don't get it. You forfeit the visit, Miss Crane. So he doesn't have to sit there and wait, and you do have to confirm ahead of time.
Okay, so I have to confirm that I am coming every time?
Yes, every time.
Okay,
That's the only way he knows to be ready to let the kids go. And I don't want the kids disappointed because you said you're coming and then you drop out. So don't do that.
yeah,
And if he just waited for you and you didn't show because you didn't have a ride and didn't confirm, it's too it's too chaotic for you. It needs to be given the advance notice. He needs to be given the advance notice.
okay,
Thank you.
And then get back on time. If your mom's gonna do all this, well, God bless her, but somehow it's your responsibility to go get them and pick them up. If you're gonna send somebody else, you need to probably run it by Mr. Horseman. Don't send a boyfriend or somebody sketchy and that doesn't know the kids either. So
yeah,
I'm gonna rely on you and your good judgment and your mother
yes.
to do this, or
And they'll be back Sunday by, you said 5 or 6, I'm sorry.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay. So I was wanting to get them set up with some summer camps and everything. So I need to make sure I can work around that. And if they do have an obligation coming up, like whether it's sports they're playing and stuff, or do they just need to miss it, or will she be required to take them to it on the weekends?
That's something I leave for the parents to figure out. And so if y'all can work it
Okay.
out and you can give her a next makeup time, then maybe you can have the kid and you do it. She's going to be in a difficult position with a newborn and trying to recuperate. So I wouldn't expect her to go off to a field somewhere with 3 kids and a newborn. So y'all deal
Fair
with it.
enough.
And if it's important to the kids and they're in some activity, ma'am, maybe you can forego the visit and get a makeup visit somewhere else. Okay? And I didn't say this, but it's supposed to be, I meant the first, third, and fifth weekends, not every single weekend, not yet.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
the start date will be when you're ready, Miss Crane, when you get set your mom up. So it could be as soon as now. If you can get there and you give him advance notice. And if you don't call because you're in the hospital, you haven't come home yet, and he doesn't have the notice, then he's not going to be there waiting for you with the kids ready. Okay? Does
okay.
that, I assume that'll work. Do you want her to text you at your cell number, sir?
Oh, yeah, phone call's fine. I'd prefer a phone call.
Phone call. Well, check your text too if for some reason
I will, of
on your
course.
phone, the phone call for the advance notice. And then y'all can talk. Y'all are not going to get in crossways with each other or name calling or ugly. Y'all can talk on the phone.
Sure.
Ma'am, think you can do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, for the kids' sake, I hope you can, or you learn how to do that if you haven't done it yet. That's the only thing I want to change, and then reset it for July 10th at 8:30.
Okay, so that's to Saturday noon to Sunday 6 p.m.
Saturday, 10 a.m. to Sunday, 6 p.m., first, third, and fifth.
First, third, and fifth. And then pickup to be at
Father's residence. There's no
okay.
disclosure issues, or is there?
There was third party non-disclosure in the temporary orders.
For mom or dad?
As to both.
They're both. Does she know where you live, Mr. Horseman?
Yeah, she does.
Maybe you can share that by phone, and if you move, you have to tell her the new address. Don't let her go to the old address. That's on
I
you,
will.
Mr. Hort. Okay,
And
so,
am I still able to sign up for getting child support with this also?
well, yeah, that'll be for the final hearing. All I'm doing right now
Okay.
is resetting it and making sure mom
Okay.
didn't miss out on some kind of possession. That's all I'm doing.
And then
Understood.
my last question, was there a notice requirement? I know it was discussed, but then there's kind of some movement,
Yes,
but-
sir, by Friday, 7 PM before the visit, the Saturday visit, mom is to phone or text dad with, the notice that she's, gonna exercise her visitation.
Okay. All right.
And what do I do if they're not back on Sunday in time? Who do I talk to?
You call the grandma first and see if she's on the road, and ma'am, if there's some kind of slowdown, grandma needs to have his number to tell him something happened on the road, but you need to have the child there on time. Don't blow it by, and you have a court order that, sir, that she's supposed to return the child, so you can call authorities if you need to, but don't get excitable for the first few minutes. Give it a half hour or so.
Sure.
But Ms. Crane, get the kids back on time so you don't have a thing that you're not obeying the court order, and it would be a violation of our law and could be called kidnapping if you keep the kids beyond your visitation time without consent. Got
Okay.
it? You're required to return the children. Okay, I'm gonna leave that third party non-disclosure in effect. However, I don't know if somebody can talk to these people, make sure they know all the addresses they need to know if it's not gonna be in the order, Mr. Skinner. Did you have to leave, or somebody can talk to them for a few minutes to make sure you have the right information? Up and drop off.
Figure something out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I can leave this room open and off record, y'all can talk, and I'll go to the other room for the next hearing.
No, I can take him back over to
Judge, I told them we were going back for the next hearing.
So we can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you doing the other case, Mr. Skinner?
Ms. Nichols is doing the other case, and she has a state's witness who needs to testify.
I need to go back right now. However, you can stay here in this room as host to keep talking to them off record to make sure,
Okay.
I'll make sure they know the right addresses. And
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then that concludes this hearing. Make sure you're back here July 10th at 8:30 by Zoom. If you're not here, you could be defaulted.
Okay.
And that concludes this hearing. I'll stop my recordings. Let me stop the live stream first.